It's crazy to think that in almost 2 decades of the COD Zombies mode, we've gotten over 50 different unique Zombies maps to play. I've talked in the past about some of my least favorite Zombies maps of all time, and I've also talked about the worst and best of Zombies launch maps. I've talked about the best wonder weapons over the years, the most controversial maps of all time, tons of different rankings, bests, worsts, different subjects of all kinds. But something that I haven't talked about yet is my own personal ranking of my favorite Zombies maps of all time. The best Treyarch Zombies maps that have ever been released in any Black Ops Zombies games. That being said, I have briefly hinted at some of my favorites in other videos. I've talked about how much I enjoy every entry in Black Ops 3, how much I like maps from Black Ops 1 and 2, and how Black Ops 7 has some of the best Zombies content that we've gotten in years. But at no point have I actually sat down, written up my thoughts on the best of all time, my favorite experiences over the years, and made a video about it. So today I'll be talking about the greatest Zombies maps of all time, in my opinion. Now, of course, before I get fully into it, I need to lay out some of my own ground rules and ranking criteria. A lot of this is subjective, it's entirely my own opinion, and it's mostly going to come down to my own personal experience playing these maps. A lot of what I'll focus on is the launch vibe that I had from these maps, the overall aesthetics of these maps, the cool factor of their special enemies, wonder weapons and Easter eggs, the boss fights, etc. I'll be honest in saying that a lot of my favorites come down to vibes alone. Some more controversial takes on maps that I know other folks might not consider some of the best of all time are some of my favorites to play. Maps like Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Die Rise, which I think are immensely cool maps, equally so being less popular ones across the rest of the community. But this video isn't about those maps. For this one, I'll be focusing on the absolute cream of the crop, best of the best, top tier of all time Zombies maps from my own personal experience. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure how to start, so I'm just going to count down from my own top 5, moving up from my favorite of all time. And while I'll be stacking these maps up against each other, I have to add the caveat that any of these maps could easily be shifted around this tier list and ranking at random depending on when you ask me. I'll be ordering them for the simplicity of this video, but this is in no particular order my favorite maps of all time. So let's jump into it. Kicking things off with the first map on this list is Riese from World at War and all of its other iterations. It's arguably one of the greatest Zombies maps of all time definitively because it was such a transformative experience for the Zombies mode itself, and because it really established what a more full-fledged, feature-filled Zombies map could look like. It's the first map that introduced functions like teleportation, interactable Easter eggs, and a lot of the Zombies mode's lore that we still follow today, and one of the most transformative mechanics in all of Zombies history, the Pack-a-Punch machine and weapon upgradability. It's a really well-rounded map, and every time that we've seen it show up in Zombies thus far, it's been great, whether it's in World at War originally, or in Black Ops 1 with the remaster/ported version, or in Black Ops 3 as the Giant. It's a really fun, simple survival experience on a very cool and dark and interesting map, great aesthetics, good vibes, and it bleeds Zombies through and through. It's nothing fancy or frilly, and it doesn't have a lot of quirks or gimmicks like a lot of the newer maps do, but it's a really great foundational map that every Zombies player should experience. And it's almost universally beloved across the community from all eras of the Zombies fanbase, whether you're a newer fan or a classic Zombies fan alike. Hence why it takes one of the 5 top spots for me as one of the greatest Zombies maps of all time. It has the cool factor, replayability, good design, and there's a reason that it's been remade and ported forward so many times. It's just great, and it's really fun. And for me and for a lot of other people, it holds a special place in my memory of the early Zombies mode. A lot of my earliest memories are me going and pack-a-punching the Browning or the MG42, camping up on the catwalk at the back of the map, and trying to get past round 30, something that little 12-year-old me just absolutely could not do. I remember sitting down with my brother and my friends and getting on this map, playing split screen on our old boxy TV, trying to understand what all the little floating things around the map were, trying to shoot at the moon, thinking that might do something, just trying to hack together and learn this mode for the first time. And I really loved it and the whole experience that came with Riese. It sparked that curiosity and that love for future Zombies Easter eggs that I have still through this day, and it made me really fall in love with the mode as a whole. So for that, while it might be a more simple pick on this list, it has to take one of my top 5 spots just for what it gave me and the Zombies mode, and for what it means to me and so many other members of the community. Now moving into the second spot on this list, I have to talk about Black Ops 3's Der Eisendrache. This one could easily be my favorite of all time just based on how much playtime I have in this map. It's countless how many times I've gone back and completed the entire Easter egg over and over again, how many times I've gone to round 100, how many times I've played random public matches through the whole Easter egg and boss fight, how many times I've made friends re-download the entirety of Black Ops 3, yes, all 100 plus gigs of it, just so that we can go back and play a couple of quick DE matches for nostalgia's sake. There's just so much that I love about this map and the experience of playing Der Eisendrache. It is absolutely one of the definitive Black Ops 3 experiences and the best map in this entire game. Now, I've said a bunch of times before that I'm an absolute sucker for a snow map. Anything with that wintry vibe easily steals my heart, so equally so, you could probably throw Call of the Dead up here alongside DE as one of the best of all time. But I'm not going to do that because there are shockingly enough other maps that take those top spots for me personally, and DE is one one of them. It has one of the coolest layouts and designs of any zombies map ever made. I mean, it's a literal castle on the side of the mountain tucked into a Bavarian village with this awesome, warm, wintry town vibe in the distance, while still managing to be this cold, abandoned compound. Underground tunnels, bunkers, research facilities, a rocket launch site, interesting hidden rooms and areas and compartments, great map design and visual aesthetics, and just so much more. Just based on vibes alone, it's already a 10 out of 10 for me, but I have to talk about the other things that make this map so great. The wonder weapons are fantastic. They're elemental bow and arrows with engaging unlock quests for each and every one, and they're all extremely powerful and fun to use. Even the void bow and the fire bows, which are some of my least used, are still some of the coolest wonder weapons of all time. And I'm still waiting for that Noah J456 firebow tutorial because clearly I don't know how to make it, I don't use it. The Easter egg is really fun and engaging, the steps are relatively easy to repeat game over game, and the boss fight, while it is challenging and a bit frustrating at times, with full arena map wipe mechanics, the entire Easter egg itself is very rewarding to complete. It's the first of 3 major character deaths that we see in Black Ops 3 that we get to experience after seeing the initial intro cutscene of Richtofen stealing his own soul at the start of the bonus map, The Giant. Dempsey has to confront his future self, steal his soul via the summoning key, and help contribute towards the ultimate goal of BO3's storyline and ending the cycle that we've been trapped in for 2 games now. Everything about this map, the storyline, the Easter egg, the visuals, the experience, they're all top tier for me, and as such, I can easily rank this as one of the greatest maps of all time, without a doubt. And I think that opinion holds across most of the community as well. There's a reason why it's usually the S+ tier for a lot of people's ranking lists. But the next map on this list might be a little bit more controversial to the broader community, though it is my next entry as one of the greatest of all time. Another entry from Black Ops 3, this time Gorod Krovi. I think alongside Eisendrache, it's one of the best maps in all of Black Ops 3 and in all of Black Ops history. It has a more controversial Easter egg in that it's more difficult and tedious to replicate, and that high rounds are more difficult, so it's less replayable in general for more casual players. The layout's a little more tight, cramped, and compact. It's a lot more unforgiving, and I think this map overall is just a little bit less casual friendly. But in my opinion, everything that I just described is what makes it such an enjoyable experience for me. The night that Gorod Krovi dropped on PC, I played for 2 days straight. When it originally launched on consoles, I stayed up through the entire night watching multiple different Easter egg hunts, watching from my couch on a hot summer night, waiting to see if the boss fight would be found through the wee hours of the morning. I was glued to the entire community's reactions to this map and the community unraveling the Easter egg throughout a couple of days. And something that I think equally steals my heart like a snow map is one that plays with the mechanics of fire and dragons and lava and destruction like this map does. It's something that makes a map feel really destroyed and ruinous and zombie-like, one that doesn't just feel like we're dropped down in some random point of interest, but rather we're popped down somewhere that has true story and background to it. Nikolai's history through Gorod Krovi and our characters exploring the destruction of Stalingrad is such a cool experience to me. Visually, the map is beautiful. It's a fascinating snippet in history that we get to experience post-destruction, inhabited by dragons and a giant robot piloted by an old drunk Russian, right at the golden hour of sunset while we fight against the elements and travel through the ruins themselves. And once again, multiple cool hidden areas and facilities and research bunkers and more, something that follows a lot in the Black Ops 3 theme as a whole. And while the wonder weapon on this map's a little bit weaker and less interesting to use, the Easter egg itself is more tedious and annoying to complete, and there are a lot of downsides to this map. The boss fight might be one of the coolest ones that we've ever gotten, and the story that we follow through this map is one of the most interesting and intriguing of all time. And there are a lot of cool little quirks to the way that this map is played that make me absolutely love it. Calling in the dragon drone strikes, completing different challenges around the map, unlocking special masks and wings and helmets and all sorts of different added bonus benefits to your character. It's just a lot of fun. And there's just nothing quite like having to fight dragons and robots as the finale to this map in a massive open air arena that can compare to this map in any way, shape, or form. That is until we got the next entry on this list. Definitely a controversial pick, Black Ops 7's Kowaka Joe. Now I really need you to hear me out on this one. It's another top 5 map experience for me, but again, it's definitely a controversial pick, probably because of the fact that it's so new and so fresh in our minds, and because it comes from a more controversial era in zombies history, the modern zombies and dark ether story era of Treyarch zombies. One that hasn't really landed well with the classic zombies community, but has been immensely popular with the newer fan base. And honestly, as a classic zombies fan myself, I really love Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 as some of the best games of all time. Black Ops 7 has captured my heart the way that those old games did. So with that, one of the best experiences that I've had thus far with this new game, and with every map in the game now having been released, I've gotten to experience Ashes, Astra Malorum, Paradox Junction, Totenreich, Kowaka Joe, and Rex Infernus, and I can confidently say that my favorite of the entire bunch is none other than Takeo's dedicated map from this game's cycle, Kowaka Joe. It's the same experience to me as Gorod Krovi, and it hits a lot of the same notes that that map does for me. We're fighting massive dragons, there was a very interesting Easter egg hunt that captivated the community for days on end, the wonder weapon is beyond beyond unique and interesting and fun to use, and it has a very satisfying unlock quest associated. There's so much lore and history to this map and unraveling Takio's framed murder. It's a masterpiece in storytelling from a Treyarch Zombies map of all things, and the layout and design is equally fun and interesting and visually appealing in so many ways. There's really nothing I can say negative about this map. The elite that they added to the map isn't annoying to fight, it's fairly easy to manage, but still poses somewhat of a threat. Lockdown rounds break up the monotony of endless high rounding, and at no point have I ever really felt bored playing this map. I keep going back to it over and over and over again. It's another one of those very visually appealing, fun, interesting maps that's just downright cool, so it earns a spot in one of the 4 out of 5 of the greatest maps of all time in my own personal opinion. But there is one map that actually takes the number 1 slot for me. I know I said that this top 5 was pretty loose and fluid and that you could mesh these around in any order you wanted to, but there is one that definitively holds the top spot. Everyone else is fighting for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. And no, it's not Mob of the Dead, but it is one of the community's favorite maps of all time across the broader Zombies community, new and old fans alike. It's an entry from the well-beloved Black Ops 2, the game's finale Zombies map. That map, of course, being Origins. Of course, I'm putting up some Black Ops 3 Origins gameplay here, but that's just because it's easier for me to go back and capture footage from this game than it is to go back and deal with BO2. Plus, I think it looks better. That's just my opinion. Origins is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Zombies map of all time. I've talked about this map a bunch before, so I won't sit on it too much, but I do have to acknowledge what's so great about it. First off, snow map. I gotta get that out of the way because it immediately gets points from me. Snow maps are the best. I love them. They're visually appealing. They're easy to get right, and I have yet to hate a snow map in any Zombies game. Origins continues that snowy, muddy, cold aesthetic that makes the Zombies map feel truly cold and dead, just like the zombies that we're fighting. On top of the beautiful visuals and aesthetics of this map, it has one of the first instances of a truly fully fledged Easter egg, and it sits alongside Mob of the Dead's Easter egg main quest as one of the coolest that we've ever gotten to do. Origins was the basis for everything we experienced through the entire storyline of BO3 and BO4, and it set up a lot of what we're still playing through today in the modern era, even through Dark Ether. It's the foundation that gave us our Ether crew, the Ether storyline, and everything that we've cared about as a fan base for over a decade plus. The Easter egg itself is equally challenging and fun, and while it doesn't have a traditional boss fight to tackle, it does have us end things with an epic finale in the crazy place that's hard to rival with any other map ending. It's just downright cool. The wonder weapons from this map are fun to unlock. They're very similar to the Der Eisendrache bows, although they came before them. You pretty much just have to do a scavenger hunt for those, so it's not super complicated to unlock them, and there is a couple of pretty easy to figure out puzzles along the way if you want to upgrade them and make them even more powerful and able to carry you to high rounds. The elemental variants are an awesome touch, and they've been the template for future elemental wonder weapons that we've gotten in games to follow. And the map design and layout is both tight and challenging, as well as wide open and easy to train and high round in. It poses its own environmental challenges with mud and stairs and corridors and all sorts of things to keep an eye out for, and equally so, the enemies on this map, both the regular zombies and the Panzer Soldat, provide a pretty good challenge on this map. Panzer shows up at around round 8, gives you a little bit of a scare, and it's still easy enough to counter once you've had a few plays of this map and have learned the ins and outs. And you start to learn the pathing of the zombies, where to go and where not to go, and how to play the higher rounds of this map pretty early on. Origins is, dare I say, a masterpiece of a zombies map, and as such, it earns the undisputed top spot of this top 5. Everything else, like I said, is fighting for spots 2 through 5, but Origins, in my opinion, is the number 1 greatest zombies map of all time. Der Eisendrache, Kowaka Joe, Gorod Krovi, and Riese are all fighting for the other spots, and they can all equally take claim to the other 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th places, just depending on the kind of experience you're looking for in the moment. Now, once again, I have to say this is all my own opinion, so it's entirely subjective, and everyone is going to have a different ranking of their own favorite maps of all time. So I'm curious, what do you think of my top 5? Do you agree with my take on these being the greatest zombies maps of all time, or do you think I'm totally delusional and it's actually something crazier? Maybe your favorites are Transit and Firebase Z, Marauder Toten, Forsaken, and Terra Maledicta from Vanguard. Probably not, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a comment down below and let me know your take on the best zombies maps of all time. And of course, if you like this video and you want to see me do more like it, drop me a comment, a like, and maybe even consider subscribing. It helps a ton and it means a lot in growing my channel. That's all I've got for now, and I'll see you in the next one.